Here's something nobody tells you about grief, that it can come to you at any time, and death uh, can be a very stark reminder of all the grief that you hold within yourself. And death does not necessarily have to be of someone that you know, but even if it is a wrongful death that you're hearing about, even if it is someone you might have just briefly known, grief is so hard. Grief closes you up. You just want to go in that shell, and you don't want to come out, and you don't want to meet the world, and you don't want to talk to anyone, and you don't want anyone to know that you have grief inside you, because it feels very weak, it feels very broken to share with someone that you have grief. I got some very unfortunate news of someone close to me, my aunt, passing away last week. And just 30 minutes before I received those news, I was having a conversation with my mother, and I was asking about that aunt and her health and everything, and just checking in on how things are, and reflecting a lot on like what we could do to support, how we could be there for her, and trying to make sense of a lot of things and a lot of news and information that I was getting. And just 30 minutes later, my mom called me to say that she's gone. And perhaps when she was leaving this world, perhaps the very moment when her soul was leaving her body, it is possible that we were having a conversation about her. It has shaken me. It is quite surprising how life is, not surprising, but this is the nature of life. 1 week ago, just 1 week ago, before that death happened, I was at the conference, I was at Pulse, and I was having a fantastic time. And it's just like completely in a different energy. And just as soon as I have heard that news, since then, today it is a week to her passing, and it's just been very hard. It's been very tough. I've cried a lot. A fear that I have lived with my whole life since the day my father passed away, which was also some concept that I was not even aware of, that your parents can die. But I was made aware of it by Allah, by life, at a very young age. And since then, a fear that I have lived with, it always comes to life. It always gets triggered. It's just not possible for me to not feel that. But I mean, I'm not recording this just for myself, but it's to share that there's just so much grief in this world, and there's just so much pain in this world, and it's just very hard when grief hits you and you're trying to just follow through, be the person that you are, do your duties, fulfill your responsibilities. As a daughter, I'm so deeply connected with every person from my family, from my mom's side of family, and also with my chacha from my dad's side of family, that it's just like any one of them passing is a big shock for my system. And every time I hear a news like that, all I pray for is the good health of all of them, because it's just so hard to have started seeing deaths in your family since such a young age, and to have lost so many people, and then to have to continue to live in this world and do what you do and be who you are and use your agency to do what you were maybe meant to do. All of this is just hard. This is just a real heart-to-heart sharing, and it's like happening to me in waves. Everything is happening to me in waves for the last 7 days, and my heart goes out to everyone who's feeling a loss of someone that they have loved, and they have been loved by them. The two things that it reminds me of: first, my mumani, my mamu, other mamu who passed away, they are examples of true giving, where money is no object. For them, they lived that good old-fashioned life. They were not money-minded people. They were people who gave of themselves, of their heart, and they gave so much. So much. I mean, any of my family members, extended family members who have money, security, etc., whose children are abroad, everything, they did not have the hearts that these three people had, and every single one of them is gone, and it's going to remain with me. And the second thing that I'm learning is that I will never be able to overcome my grief. There is just no solution, no way to overcome my grief. My grief is always going to find me again and again. And there's just no way, like, even if I keep facing it every time, it's just going to keep finding me. It just made me realize that who I am, where I come from, where I was born, who all have been so monumental in shaping me, in me becoming who I am. People who have been with me as support, as like the really strong, loving support at the most vulnerable, most difficult time of our life in that earlier childhood. I think I'm learning that if I'm just able to be half as good for the next generation, if I'm just able to be half as good a human being as they were, I might be doing a good job in a very, 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 very unfortunate world, despite of everything that we have. So I'm not ungrateful, but I feel that despite of everything that we have, there is a lot of grief, and there's a lot of small-mindedness and small heart, like being very small in our hearts, in the way we give of ourselves, and also in the way that we value life of another person. So yes, this is just me sharing something very honestly and vulnerably, and I appreciate you listening to it. Thank you.